And the National Assembly. On the set, I am with my colleague Captain Menza and the Kitui Central Member of Parliament, Makalimulu, who has a lot of experience when it comes to issues, finance and budget making. Are we going to hear talks about the
Very good. From issuance of bursaries to needy learners across the
Reports of the Auditor General Financial Statement for the years ended 30th June 2021 and 30th June 2022 and the certificates therein in respect of A. Kipkoris Girls Secondary School and B. Keringet Secondary School. Number 2, reports of the Auditor General Financial Statement for the year ended 30th June 2021, 30th June 2022 and 30th June 2023 and the certificates therein in respect of A. Number 1, St. Catherine of Siena, Mukunda Girls High School. Number 2, Gishika Secondary School. Number 3, Endarasha Boys High School. Number 4, Muruguru Girls High School. Number 5, Nitakuwa na sitaji wangu wa Ngoma.
Obi na amepoteza mpenzi.
Utakufa yule. Utakufa vibaya wewe na kuhurumia.
Amepoteza mpenzi.
Hii ama hii baby? Tena gani? Na hii?
You ache baby ni security wataingia.
Oh my God.
We are moving away from this. This one now is like hey Bambi.
Mavieji tu. Mwapa kumplika nyuma.
Ile sasa ina bamba jioni hii. Hii sasa ndio iko juu.
Jipangeni twende.
See you guys. Ukitaka kunitafuta leo nipate Mtengene Resort. Kuja hapo upige swim, uogelee, ujinice. Leo tuko tu Bungoma 1 week.
Yaani Obina utamsamea lakini ya nyumbani ni ya nyumbani.
You are deceiving.
Hii imeshaenda.
Oh my God.
Mwambie anagongea lakini si
Hii nakugongea leo.
unafunguliwa lakini si injili.
Iligulwa.
Pole ka baba.
Waligula.
Good morning from Western Yango. Today I want to show you Tuko Mahese. Wenye mnataka kuniona leo by leo mkuja hapo Mtengene Resort.
Yaani
Nitakuwa na sitaji wangu wa Ngoma.
Obi na amepoteza mpenzi.
Utakufa yule. Utakufa vibaya wewe na kuhurumia.
Amepoteza mpenzi.
Hii ama hii baby? Tena gani? Na hii?
You ache baby ni security wataingia.
Oh my God.
We are moving away from this. This one now is like hey Bambi.
Mavieji tu. Mwapa kumplika nyuma.
Ile sasa ina bamba jioni hii. Hii sasa ndio iko juu.
Jipangeni twende.
See you guys. Ukitaka kunitafuta leo nipate Mtengene Resort. Kuja hapo upige swim, uogelee, ujinice. Leo tuko tu Bungoma 1 week.
Yaani Obina utamsamea lakini ya nyumbani ni ya nyumbani.
You are deceiving.
Hii imeshaenda.
Oh my God.
Mwambie anagongea lakini si
Hii nakugongea leo.
unafunguliwa lakini si injili.
Iligulwa.
Pole ka baba.
Waligula.
Good morning from Western Yango. Today I want to show you Tuko
hapa lakini idara ya polisi imeweza kusema kwamba ni maandamano ambayo
we'll be waiting to hear what the president will be saying as he outlines his development record. As you can see there, the guard of honor present, the president will be inspecting that. We will be, of course, getting details on the fly as our reporters interact with members of parliament on location around issues that they are expecting the president to raise around his wins and his challenging moments as president in the years that he has been president. Let's listen from Stephen Leto on the ground to hear what the members of parliament present have to say ahead of the president addressing the nation. Stephen.
Mike, I'm okay.
My check.
Thank you, Lilian. Then we're back. The issue of SHA, this new medical insurance scheme. there has been concerns with even members of parliament summoning the entire Ministry of Health officials undertaking this particular thing. And you are saying that there is still a problem. Where are we in that, and what are some of the solutions that you expect the president to do today, to have today?
What the common mananchi want to hear about the SHA or she is how the person will be able to go and be treated the way they were being treated when they was NHIF. This deal, there is about 104 billion shillings, 106 billion shillings that is stated to have been given as or advanced as preparation for the system. So what the common mananchi want to hear is how will stop the corruption, the 2 billion shillings that the CS Mbadi said that is being lost every day. What common mananchi wants to hear, how that 2 billion shillings will stop being lost. What the common mananchi want to hear is about the tax.
Defence Forces, Kenya Air Force Wing, and to be specific, Moi Air Base. And now is just having a chit-chat and being welcomed by the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker. Remember, the Speakers of both Houses and Deputies are also there, flanked by his Deputy, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and also, as you can see, the Majority Leader in the Senate, and also the politicians from the August House, that is the National Assembly. They are including the senators and other parliamentary officials from there. We are expecting that the president will have a session there before he's going to make a tour of both houses before he has his opportunity to have a sit down, and the Kenyans eagerly awaiting State of the Nation address. We are expecting that the head of state is going to be touching on matters, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Is also expected to touch on the economy. It has been quite challenging in the last couple of months, so to speak, especially in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic. Other than that, we also expect the president to touch on food security, matters agriculture, where are we, the fertilizer, the subsidized fertilizer program. We also expect the president to be touching on our national policy and also our foreign policy as well. And he has indeed made his way inside Parliament, and in the next couple of minutes we do expect him to be making his speech. Among other also things that we expect the president to be touching on is the social health insurance. We also expect that the president will be touching on matters education. He's also having a challenge in terms of strike by the university dons, and also the controversial university funding model, and also talking about the grade 9 and challenges that are facing our CBC. We also expect the president to be touching on matters security, and especially, you do remember we had a big challenge in the North Rift. The head of state also being expected to touch on that. He's also expected to be touching on matters governance. Remember, this is the first speech that he is making to the nation in Parliament since the ouster of his deputy and installation of a new deputy. We also expect the head of state to be touching on all other arms of the government. And for now, I now hand over to my Bunge team who are standby for the rest of the program.
This will be his third State of the Nation address since he assumed power and the president 22. And so, our dear viewers, welcome for this live proceeding brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in conjunction with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. And this State of the Nation is just the only agenda in the order of business this afternoon at the National Assembly. Remember, the president is addressing the nation through a joint sitting of the Senate and the National Assembly, popularly known as the bicameral parliament. And in the order of business this afternoon, immediately after the president makes his way into the chamber this afternoon, we'll be having a prayer session, and equally that will be followed by convocation by the Speaker of the Senate as well as by the Speaker of the National Assembly. And the Speaker of the National Assembly will then invite His Excellency the President. the successes. That State of the Nation address comes at a time when will be making national address of the
President address Parliament. Consequently, and upon consultation, the address to Parliament by His Excellency the President was scheduled for today, Thursday the 21st of November 2024. Pursuant to Standing Order 25(2) of the Senate Standing Orders, I notified honorable senators of the place, date, and time of today's special sitting via Gazette Notice number 148/29, which was published in the Kenya Gazette on Friday, the 15th of November 2024. Further, together with the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, I notified all members of Parliament and the general public of today's special sitting via notices placed in 3 local newspapers yesterday, Wednesday, the 20th of November 2024. Accordingly, honorable members, this special sitting is properly convened. I thank you.
Your Excellency, Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, the Right Honorable Amason King, EGH MP, Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Honorable Members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Article 132(1)(b) of the Constitution requires the President to address the nation once every year and at any other time. Further, Article 132(1)(c) of the Constitution requires the President to once every year report in an address to the nation on measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of our national values. Additionally, Article 132(1)(c)(3) of the Constitution provides that the President shall submit a report for debate to the National Assembly on the progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic. In this regard, honorable members, by way of a message to the House, His Excellency the President conveyed his desire to address a joint sitting of the Houses of Parliament today, 21st November 2024. Therefore, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 22 of the National Assembly Standing Orders, and by Gazette Notice number 15327, which was published in the Kenya Gazette on 18th November 2024, and indeed as also notified to all members and the general public by way of newspaper notification published on 20th November 2024, I gave a notice of this special sitting of Parliament to the members of the National Assembly. Accordingly, honorable members, this special sitting is properly convened. Your Excellency, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this year's President's address comes at a time when the country is set to host the 14th edition of the East African Community Interparliamentary Games. The Interparliamentary Games shall bring together participants from the member states of the East African Community and the East African Legislative Assembly and are part of the deepening, widening, and tightening of the integration process. The Games are scheduled to commence next month on 7th December 2024 in Mombasa County, and all is set in readiness for these Games. Moving on, Your Excellency, it's in the custom of Parliament to recognize invited guests seated in our galleries. I therefore wish to recognize the following guests who are seated in the Speaker's row. Her Excellency Mama Rachel Ruto, First Lady of the Republic of Kenya, and other members of the First Family. His Excellency Honorable Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and the spouse of the Deputy President, Her Excellency Dr. Joyce Kithure. Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, EGH, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Diaspora Affairs. Your Excellency, honorable members, also present in the Speaker's row this afternoon are the Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mbete Mwilu, MGH, Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court. She's accompanied by Honorable Justice Mohammed K. Ibrahim and Justice William Ouko, judges of the Supreme Court of Kenya. Also accompanying the Deputy Chief Justice are Honorable Justice Oscar Angote, Presiding Judge of the Environment and Land Court, Honorable Justice Lady Justice Jemima Wanza Kelly, Judge of the Employment and Labor Relations Court. We are also honored to have in our midst the immediate former speakers of the Houses of Parliament, the Honorable Justin Bedan Njoka Muturi, EGH, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service and Human Capital Development, the Honorable Kenneth Marende, EGH, the Honorable Kenneth Makelo Lusaka, EGH, the current Governor of Bungoma County, Honorable Ekwe Ethro, and additionally, we also are pleased to be hosting a delegation visiting our Parliament from the Republic of the Gambia. Your Excellency, allow me to also recognize the chairperson of the Council of Governors, who is also the Governor of Wajir County, the Honorable Ahmed Abdullahi, and the Honorable Johnson Sakaja, Governor of the City of Nairobi County. May I also accord special recognition to all Cabinet Secretaries present and particularly acknowledge 4 of them who are former ranking members of the Houses of Parliament, namely Aden Duale, EGH, former leader of the majority party in the National Assembly, Honorable Onesimus Murkomen, EGH, former Senate Majority Leader, Honorable John Badi, EGH, Honorable Opio Wandai, EGH, both former leaders of the minority in the National Assembly. I need not mention that His Excellency the Deputy President is a former leader of majority in the Senate. I also acknowledge the presence of Mr. Felix Kosgei, Chief of Staff and Head of the Public Service, Principal Secretaries, members of the Diplomatic Corps, and heads of constitutional commissions and independent offices and state corporations present. They are all welcome to the House of Parliament. Your Excellency, I wish to make a special welcome to Parliament and mention the Chief of the Kenya Defence Forces, General Daniel Kahariri, who is present, and the respective service commanders, the Inspector General of Police, and other leaders of our disciplined forces who are seated at the Speaker's row. Parliament is grateful for your distinguished service to our great nation. To all invited guests, we say karibuni sana kwa bunge letu. Your Excellency, honorable members, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular honor and privilege to invite His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces to address this special sitting of Parliament. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Honorable Speakers of Parliament, the Honorable Members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to address you today in the fulfillment of the mandate vested in me under Article 1321C of the Constitution to report to you and to the people of Kenya on the measures we have taken and the progress we have made in realizing our national values and principles of governance, and to submit to you, honorable members, the progress made in fulfilling our international obligations. Since my last address, Kenya has undergone rapid change, occasioned by the collective awakening of the people in the understanding that the state of nation depend on the work we do individually and collectively. This realization extends not only to what we choose to undertake, but also to how we go about securing careers, livelihoods, and contributing to the grand enterprise of nation building. There has never been doubt, and now there is none whatsoever, that Kenya is a land of bold ambition, with our citizens always desiring and insisting on the best possible standards, not only for themselves, but also for their families and for our nation. Consequently, our democracy has empowered citizens to ask questions and demand changes in the way their affairs are managed, driving the wheels of our nation's social, political, and economic transformation faster in the direction of excellence and prosperity. Rare are the times when leadership is ahead of the people. We are always striving to steer the machinery of state and government to keep pace with the aspirations of our citizens. We have learned through the hard as well as the more customary ways that listening is a full-time occupation of leadership, and that all questions asked by the people must be answered thoroughly and in full. We have learned never to take anything for granted and make every effort to call all our people, to carry all our people along with us in the pursuit of our transformation. The context in which I make this national address is not only significantly different from previous occasions, but it is and reinforce the commitments we have made to one another and to our beloved nation for the sake of the present and future generations. I do not take this for granted, and with utmost respect and humility before this august assembly of the people's elected representatives, I desire to respond to the most pressing concerns that have been raised by Kenyans of all walks of life in recent months. To my understanding, the concerns and issues voiced by millions of Kenyans about the state of our nation deserve meaningful engagement, thorough understanding, and thoughtful response. There are discussions about whether leaders understand the pain, hardship, and struggles endured by countless citizens every day as they strive to make ends meet, and whether the government is doing anything about it. Similarly, many struggling Kenyans impatiently wonder, when will real money get to their pockets, and when will the jobs promised, which they deserve, become a reality? Additionally, there has been conversations about our education system, particularly the transition to the competence-based curriculum, and whether policies in this sector are working for or against Kenyans. Important questions have also been raised concerning the direction of development in relation to democracy, human rights, and fundamental freedoms, as well as the rule of law, transparency, and accountability. Another more direct question that emerges every now and then is whether public policy in this administration is in furtherance of service delivery to citizens or just in aid of political strategy. It is undeniable that for many Kenyans, times are hard and the struggle to meet their daily basic needs remains daunting. It is also true that these conditions have persisted for a number of years now, leading to much frustration and anxiety. Although we have gone a long way to mitigate some of these difficulties, much remains to be done, though we have laid a firm foundation for decisive intervention. I believe that it is critical for us to bear in mind that this administration was inaugurated at an extremely difficult time, characterized by domestic challenges, compounded by regional and global security, geopolitical, financial, as well as climate dynamics. As a result, in 2022, the country's total debt burden was not only immense, but it was also stacked up in the most burdensome manner, leaving very little room for investments in public service or development of critical infrastructure. The prices of basic food commodities soared as a result of a combination of prolonged drought, declining local productivity due to inadequate support, and disruptions in the global supply chain caused by the war in Europe. Kenya faced a crossroads of extremely difficult choices, where defaulting on our obligations would have significantly worsened an already perilous situation, and more borrowing was not an option. It was therefore essential for us to drastically reduce expenditure, mobilize as much as possible resources domestically, and curtail waste. As I informed the nation then, matters were going to get more difficult before they could get better. And we all had to tighten our belts and work hard under very unforgiving conditions. We had staked the fate of our ambitious bottom-up economic transformation agenda on easing the stress that the economy was in and the strain citizens underwent, while creating room for the implementation of our transformative interventions. Members, I give this background to underscore two very important facts. First, we haven't been watching helplessly and doing nothing as adversity took a toll on the economy and undermined the livelihoods and well-being of the people. On the contrary, we have been working tirelessly to steer the country away from the brink of unprecedented economic collapse and onto a more promising trajectory. The second point is that while we may not be where we would like to be, we are certainly not where we were 2.25 years ago. At the same time, the cost of living was substantially high, with prices of basic commodities beyond the reach of many households. Today, I'm proud to report that the macroeconomic indicators point to a positive turnaround and an upward trajectory. Allow me to highlight a few milestones that underscore this progress. The shilling has stabilized significantly, appreciating from Kenya shillings 162 to the dollar in February 2024 to Kenya shillings 129 today, a remarkable gain of 20%. This recovery has restored confidence in our financial markets and significantly reduced the cost of servicing external debt, creating fiscal space for our development imperatives. Inflation has declined dramatically from 9.6% in September 2022 to 2.7% in October this year, the lowest rate in 17 years. This achievement has been the consequence of favorable weather and our deliberate efforts to support farmers with affordable inputs, including subsidized fertilizer, leading not only to increased production but also productivity and lowering the prices of many cereals, including maize, pulses such as beans and peas. Our foreign exchange reserves have surged by US dollars 2.4 billion to hit a new record of US dollars 9.5 billion, providing a 4.8 month of import cover, the highest in 10 years. This resilience shields us from external shocks in the global economy and restores investor confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, interest rates are also trending downwards, reducing borrowing costs and freeing up fiscal space for growth-enhancing initiatives by business. Tax revenues have grown by 11.5% in the year to June 2024, reflecting the success of our tax-based expansion measures. The economy continues to grow steadily, recording a 5.6% growth rate in 2023, among the highest globally. We project 5% growth this year and 5.6% growth next year. Honorable members, our efforts to secure food security and stability are already bearing fruit. Since February, we have distributed subsidized fertilizer to 6.45 million registered farmers in 45 counties, enabling them to increase their yields. And this year, we have procured and through e-vouchers distributed 7 million bags of both planting and top dressing fertilizer to boost food production across the country. This intervention will see a projected increase in maize production, for example, to a record 74 million 90 kilogram bags. We have also concluded long-term agreements with 11 suppliers of assorted fertilizers so as to make this commodity available all year round. Fertilizer for the long rains season will be stocked in outlets nationwide, ensuring our farmers are ready to plant, grow, and produce. This forward momentum will not only increase our agricultural output, but also reduce our reliance on costly food imports, securing a more self-reliant and a more prosperous Kenya. This approach, rooted in my administration's policy to support production rather than subsidize consumption, has already made food more accessible, more affordable to many households. Today, Kenya boasts substantial national stocks. 47 million bags of 90 kilogram bags of maize are in our stores. 8.8 million bags of beans, 10.4 million bags of wheat, and 2.1 million bags of rice. Slowly but surely, we are building a food-secure Kenya, where families need not to worry or worry less about their next meal. In the sugar sector, we have achieved a historic milestone. All 17 sugar factories across Kenya are now operational, producing at impressive levels, while 4 new sugar factories are under construction. In July alone, domestic sugar production reached 84,000 metric tons, surpassing the national monthly consumption average of 40,000 metric tons. For the first time in recent history, Kenya is producing enough sugar to meet our local demand. This success is attributed to many factors: subsidized fertilizer for sugarcane farmers, an additional 500,000 acres that has been brought under production, and improved management of the sugar sector, which have revitalized production and brought the industry back to life. I just signed, as you know, the new sugar laws to provide further policy guidance as we seek to be a sugar exporting country shortly. In the coffee sector, we are on track to increase exports from 51,000 metric tons this year to 150,000 metric tons by 2027. The government has also raised disbursements from the Cherry Advance Fund from 2.7 billion to 6 billion Kenya shillings, complemented by an additional disbursement of 1.5 billion by the Commodities Fund. Average prices at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange have risen by 25%. And in the last financial year, the country produced and exported 48,000 metric tons, earning farmers Kenya shillings 25 billion. Additionally, 320,000 bags of fertilizer have been allocated specifically for the coffee sector. And we will be working with cooperatives to make sure this fertilizer is distributed at the nearest possible destination to the farmers. These interventions are expected to boost smallholder farmer earnings from Kenya shillings 300,000 to 500,000 per acre annually by the year 2027. The dairy sector remains a vital value chain with a quick turnaround impact on households in the economy. The government of Kenya has released and you members approved 3 billion shillings to modernize the new KCC, ensure farmers are paid on time, and maintain a high price of Kenya shillings 50 per litre. As a result, intake to KCC has increased from 100,000 litres a day to 220,000 litres a day by last month. Other strategic interventions include the extension of duty-free imports for feed manufacturing raw materials, subsidized artificial insemination services, and the reduction of sexed semen costs from 7,000 to 2,900 through the Kenya Animal Genetic Resource Center. These measures have led to a 14% increase in milk production from 4.6 billion litres in 2022 to 5.2 billion litres in 2023, with projections exceeding 6 billion litres this year. The value of exported dairy products has nearly doubled, rising from Kenya shillings 4.8 billion in 2022 to Kenya shillings 7.2 billion in 2023. These gains demonstrate how targeted policies can deliver tangible benefits to dairy farmers and drive growth in our economy. Honorable members, by 2022, the education sector was in a crisis with a lack of clarity in transition to the competence-based curriculum, a shortage of 110,000 teachers, and 23 out of 40 public universities were technically bankrupt and at risk of closure. Among those facing severe challenges were huge institutions such as my own alma mater, University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Moi University, Egerton University, Maseno University, Masinde Muliro University. To address this issue in our education sector, we have already hired, as you know, members, 56,000 teachers and are in the process of recruiting another 20,000 by January next year. We have also ensured the seamless transition of learners from primary to junior secondary and domiciled grades 7, 8, and 9 in primary school, optimizing the use of existing infrastructure, ensuring the safety of young learners, and protecting parents from the high costs associated with boarding schools far away. Recognizing the financial challenges faced by our universities and TVETs, we introduced a new student-centered higher education funding model. This model gives priority to the most vulnerable students, offering them up to 95% government support, while also pulling our universities back from the brink of collapse. The remaining challenges for a few universities, like Moi University, are related to internal administrative and governance issues, which I have given firm instructions that they should be addressed. To further enhance access to higher education, we launched the Open University of Kenya, and this House approved that exercise, paving the way for more students to achieve their academic goals. The institution's first cohort of students is scheduled to graduate next week on the 29th of November 2024. Honorable members, universal health coverage is a cornerstone of our transformation agenda and a matter that touches every Kenyan family. Despite health being a devolved function, we acknowledge the immense financial burden that comes with health. Counties have struggled with shortages of medicine, equipment, sometimes staff, hindering service delivery and leaving countless Kenyans with suboptimal access to health care. It would have been easy for me to step back and leave this responsibility to counties alone. But that would have been a disservice to Kenyans and a betrayal to our Constitution. Instead of engaging in debates about healthcare being devolved, I have chosen the hardest but necessary path of addressing this challenge head on. Health delivery is not just about fulfilling a constitutional mandate by whatever level of government. It is about ensuring that healthcare is not a privilege for the few who can afford and a pipe dream for the many who cannot. For years, NHIF was saddled with debts and inefficiencies, and healthcare was being severely and negatively impacted. For far too long, too many households have lived on the edge, just one illness away from financial catastrophe. Our healthcare system has historically neglected the poor and vulnerable, leaving them without any option, while private sector medical covers remained out of reach for the majority. This is precisely what we will correct through the provision of universal health coverage. This agenda is not just about a promise. It is about a bold commitment to deliver health through transformative financing reforms, making healthcare accessible and affordable, digitizing our healthcare services to enhance efficiency, eliminate fraud, and stop corruption, and to empower a skilled and motivated health workforce. To honor our commitment on the universal health coverage, I signed into law 4 groundbreaking legislation on the 19th of October, passed by this August House. The Social Health Insurance Act replaced the outdated National Hospital Insurance Fund and established the Social Health Authority, which oversees 3 essential funds. This modern framework ensures that every Kenyan, especially the most vulnerable, can access quality healthcare services when they need it most. The shift from the National Health Insurance Fund model to Taifa Care is fundamental and radical in both scale and character. NHIF, if I give you a bit of example, NHIF served a few salaried Kenyans and those who could afford to pay. But Taifa Care covers every Kenyan, regardless of employment or financial status. Secondly, despite serving a limited class of citizens, NHIF nevertheless accumulated billions of shillings of debt because of misalignment between contributions and the actual cost of healthcare. Taifa Care has undertaken an accurate costing of all healthcare-related goods and services in order to provide timely, effective, and efficient service to every Kenyan that is affordable. Additionally, the NHIF had a waiting period lasting between registration and eligibility for service. I think it was like about 3 months. Under Taifa Care, citizens are eligible for all services upon registration. I therefore urge every Kenyan to take the most important step in securing dependable health care for themselves and their families. Register. Register now or at the earliest possible opportunity. Honorable members, for the first time in our nation's history, free primary health care is increasingly becoming available at dispensaries, health centers, and hospitals. Ambulance and emergency services are also slowly but surely being made available at no fee. Under Taifa Care, we have introduced a comprehensive benefits package that brings specialized care, such as cardiothoracic surgery, within reach for many Kenyans without the burden of financial strain. Through the Digital Health Act, we are revolutionizing healthcare delivery. Every step of the process, from registration, eligibility checks, to claims, is now digitized. By eliminating unnecessary human interaction, we are tackling corruption, reducing inefficiencies, and ensuring that resources are used where they are needed most. As a result, the good news, SHA will pay all October claims in full by next week. And it will continue like that going into the future. To date, over 15 million Kenyans have enrolled in Taifa Care, and more than 60% of employers have successfully transitioned into its framework. The newly established Social Health Insurance Fund empowers citizens to contribute towards accessing a broad range of healthcare benefits. This represents a seismic change from the old reactive healthcare model to a forward-looking system that prioritizes prevention and preparedness. Once the transition from NHIF is complete and SHIP becomes fully operational, Kenya will have a healthcare system that guarantees dignity, peace of mind, and equitable access for every citizen for the very first time in our 60 years of independence. Honorable members, we have launched an ambitious healthcare program, one that Kenya has always needed and deserved. Like any major transition, there are challenges, but I promise you, we are fully committed to making the system work. As we roll out this program, we are listening to citizen voices and collaborating with counties to deliver better healthcare services. Through the Facility Improvement Fund, which you in this House passed, we will ensure that hospitals are equipped with the tools they need, medicine, equipment, and other resources necessary to provide quality care, while involving citizens in decision-making at every facility. We are now doing the heavy lifting, clearing decade-old debts, ensuring access to medicine and equipment, and stabilizing a system that had failed too many for too long. We are building a healthcare system that serves every citizen with equity and dignity. Over the past month, we have disbursed Kenya shillings 5 billion to settle historical debts owed to the public, private, and faith-based medical facilities, some of which have been pending for over a decade. Another 3.7 billion will be disbursed tomorrow. This underscores our commitment to ensuring uninterrupted delivery of healthcare services, and we will continue to clear the remaining balances in a phased-out approach over the coming months. This sustained effort aims to restore confidence in the healthcare system and ensure seamless access of quality services. Honorable members, there is a compelling body of data projecting that not only is the future of humanity urban, but also that Africa has the fastest rate of urbanization. Kenya is no exception, and in fact, many of our counties are urbanizing rapidly. Dear Kenyans, we have a date with an urban future, and the only choice we have is what this urban future will look like. Will it be characterized by decent, dignified, safe, and livable neighborhoods and communities? Or will it be haphazard, unsanitary, and unsafe slum dwellings? This is the fundamental question that our affordable housing plan seeks to answer. Kenya has a serious housing deficit, and the cost of housing is beyond the reach of the majority. While the social and economic efforts of this shortage are far-reaching, rent as a component of the cost of living is unsustainable. People are forced to choose between enduring long, punishing commutes to faraway homes or taking up less desirable spaces within reach. Supplying the number of units required to fill the affordable housing gap requires us to undertake construction throughout the country at the rate of 200,000 new housing units every year for 10 years. Many people have asked why they should be interested in affordable housing project in rural areas. If you look around, you will witness the signs of our urban future. Land sizes are becoming smaller as the population grows in rural agricultural areas. To protect agriculture and food security from the effects of uncontrolled land fragmentation, urbanization must be planned and must be controlled. And the affordable housing program is therefore a vital component of integrated land use planning and development program that we are implementing throughout the country and in every county. Each unit of housing drives demand for different types of labor, professional services, and materials, bringing laborers, masons, bricklayers, artisans, electricians, and carpenters, as well as architects, engineers, and quantity surveyors, lawyers, real estate economists into the equation. Affordable housing is also a major opportunity for manufacturers, developers, and other industries. In other words, the economic boost from housing pillar of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda is significant and undeniably much needed. As we speak, affordable housing now directly accounts for 164,000 new jobs created over the past 1 year. Honorable members, today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards providing decent and affordable housing for all. After 2 years of hard work under the Affordable Housing Program, I am proud to announce, and you have seen it in the newspapers, the launch of the sale of the first 4,888 housing units, now in completion, across 21 social housing projects. These units, comprising studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom homes, are tailored to meet the needs of our people, offering 1,041 social housing units, 2,133 affordable housing units, and 1,714 affordable middle-class housing units in 24 counties. I invite every Kenyan above the age of 18 to join this historic journey towards home ownership. Guided by our principle of fairness, one ID, one house, every eligible Kenyan is encouraged to express interest, visit these developments, view the show houses, and engage with on-site staff who are already too willing to assist. The allocation process will be transparent and equitable, ensuring that every qualified applicant has an equal opportunity to own a home. Honorable members, as part of the government's endeavor to build a nation grounded in intergenerational equity, opportunities, and empowerment for all Kenyans, we have made significant strides in implementing another key pillar of our manifesto, labor migration. This initiative seeks to harness Kenya's abundant human capital by creating meaningful job opportunities abroad, empowering our citizens, and positioning Kenyan talent on the global stage. Since July 2023, we have successfully facilitated employment of 105,367 Kenyans across multiple countries in a wide range of jobs. These opportunities span professional, semi-skilled, skilled, and unskilled sectors, including positions for nurses, teachers, and chefs. The National Employment Authority, the lead agency driving our ambitious initiative to create jobs opportunities for qualified Kenyans locally and internationally, currently has a role of 560,000 job openings worldwide. I have encouraged many members to participate in this space. Our focus extends beyond destinations such as the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Bahrain, Oman, United Arab Emirates, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar. We are also expanding our reach by actively negotiating bilateral labor agreements with new potential markets, including Russia, Poland, and Jordan. These efforts are driven by our commitment to open up new pathways for employment, ensuring that Kenyans are well represented in the global workforce. In the